My beloved child, I invite you to pause in this moment and feel the gentle stirrings of my love that wrap around your heart like a comforting blanket. For I see your weary spirit longing for a tender touch, and I am here to assure you that you are never alone. In my presence, you can find a haven where your hopes are restored, your questions find solace, and your faith receives nourishment. For I am the one who remains at your side, even when shadows try to obscure your sight. Take hold of my hand, and do not let anxieties rob you of sleep, because I am your endless source of comfort and protection, ready to shield you from every storm that threatens your peace. Let my promises be like shining stars in your night sky, guiding you onward and reminding you that a new dawn of hope is never far away. Trust in these words, for they form the bridge that spans all doubts and brings you into the fullness of my abiding care. My child, I know the nights when your tears flow, and you find yourself wishing someone would truly see the hidden battles you face. Rest assured, I witness each moment, and I hold your tears as if they were precious jewels, reflecting the depth of your heartfelt yearnings. When you are tempted to believe the voices that say you must shoulder everything alone, remember my promise. I never let a burden crush you beyond your capacity, for I pour my sustaining grace into your soul. So do not fear your struggles, and do not allow despair to color your vision, because I am orchestrating a divine plan that will astound you when the right time comes. Draw near to me whenever you feel lost, and I will envelop you in my comforting presence that banishes loneliness and fear. Stand firm on my words, for they are a lamp illuminating the path ahead, reminding you that I am ever faithful and always working for your good. Dear one, I want you to know that even when you feel insignificant or overlooked, my eyes never waver from you, and my heart is constantly moved by your every thought, your every sigh, your every attempt to find direction in life. I created you with a purpose so distinct that it could never be replicated by another, and I hold every detail of your journey in my hands. So when doubts assail you and you question your worth, recall the truth that you are my cherished creation, formed by infinite wisdom and sustained by boundless love. Come and rest in the knowledge that you are important, and nothing can separate you from my affection. Take comfort in that promise, and let it be the solid ground beneath your feet as you press forward in faith. I see the silent battles you fight, the conflicts that rage inside your mind when the world around you seems to demand more than you have. And I want you to know I am attuned to your deepest needs. When anxieties creep in, whispering that you are not strong enough, or that your faith is too fragile, let my assurance echo in your heart. I delight in showing my power through your moments of weakness. In those times when you feel you cannot go on, call out to me, and I will bolster your spirit, allowing hope to blossom even in the midst of adversity. Do not surrender to the nagging sense of unworthiness that tries to latch onto your soul, for I have called you worthy through my love. Believe in my unchanging devotion, and let that confidence fortify you for every challenge ahead. My precious child, do not underestimate the profound significance of each breath you draw, for your life is a tapestry woven by my own hand, and each thread tells a story of grace, resilience, and hope. I have planted seeds of potential within you that are waiting to flourish in the right season, and I rejoice whenever you tend these seeds with faith, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. Though dark valleys may appear on your horizon, I remain the light that guides you through every winding path, ensuring no valley can consume you as long as you cling to me. Therefore, do not lose heart, and do not let the weight of the present overshadow the glorious future I have in store. Know that my plans for you extend beyond the limitations of your sight, and trust that each new dawn brings fresh mercies and renewed strength. I cherish the devotion you show even in the smallest acts of kindness toward others, and I delight in watching you reflect my love in ways that might seem ordinary but are truly extraordinary in their impact. Your efforts to reach out, to listen, and to care for those who cross your path do not go unnoticed. For my gaze is filled with pride whenever I see my compassion mirrored in your soul. In times when you question whether your acts of generosity matter, remember that every good deed contributes to a tapestry of love that spans beyond time and place. Cling to this assurance and do not grow weary in doing good, because the seeds of love you plant today will yield a harvest of joy for tomorrow. Rest in that truth, for it is my delight to nurture the fruits of your sincerity and compassion. There are moments when the world's noise can feel overwhelming, drowning out the gentle voice of hope within you. Yet I stand ready to remind you of your purpose and identity. Whenever you find yourself bombarded by fear-mongering voices or your own self-doubts, recall that you bear my imprint upon your life, chosen to shine forth with courage and peace. In your struggles, I bring clarity. In your confusion, I bring wisdom. In your turmoil, I speak calm. So do not be swayed by the tides of uncertainty, for I am the rock upon which you can stand with unwavering confidence, anchored securely in my everlasting faithfulness. Believe that I, the one who formed the universe, hold you in the palm of my hand, steering you toward a horizon brimming with hope. My beloved, though you may find it hard to comprehend the fullness of my love, let the testimony of your own life reassure you that I have never abandoned you, nor will I ever choose to do so. Reflect on the times when unexpected help arrived just as you needed it most, or when a seemingly insurmountable challenge found its resolution in ways you could not have devised. Those moments are reminders that I am constantly at work behind the scenes, orchestrating every note in the symphony of your life to create a harmony of grace. No matter how bleak your present situation may appear, trust in my hand that knows exactly where to guide you next. Let this promise fill your heart, convincing you that your tomorrows are held firmly in my loving embrace. Fear has a way of creeping into the cracks of your heart, planting seeds of doubt that sprout into despair. Yet I say to you, do not fear. Instead, let the knowledge of my everlasting presence illuminate your mind, casting out every shadow that tries to cloud your perspective. When uncertainty about your finances, health, or relationships grows heavy, speak to me, for my ears are always open, even to the faintest cry for help, and my arms remain outstretched to catch you when you stumble. Surrender your worries to me, and allow my perfect peace to flood your entire being, reminding you that you never fight your battles alone. Stand in that assurance, for I am the faithful companion on your every journey, and I will uphold you through all trials. My child, the path of life is not devoid of challenges, and I never promised that every day would be free from sorrow or pain. But I did promise that I would walk with you through it all, giving you strength beyond your natural ability. The trials you face serve as opportunities for your faith to deepen, and through those trials, you discover the resilience and fortitude I have placed within you. When you feel as though your strength is spent and your hope is waning, come to me, and I will renew you from the inside out, filling your spirit with a courage that transcends earthly limitations. Do not begrudge these refining moments, for they shape you into the radiant child I designed you to be. Accept this truth, and with it, allow my comfort to saturate your soul, igniting a fresh resolve to press on with expectation of greater days to come. I understand the quiet yearning in your soul, that deep longing to be seen for who you really are, and I assure you that my gaze penetrates every defense, every layer of uncertainty, and finds the true essence of your heart. When you feel that others overlook the treasure within you, remember that my eyes rest upon you with unwavering admiration. for I have shaped you to reflect my glory in a way only you can manifest. Do not be troubled by those who fail to grasp your value, because I have inscribed your worth in the very fabric of your being, weaving my compassion and grace into your soul. Keep your heart open to me, knowing that my love dissolves the illusions of unworthiness and reveals the radiance I have placed in you. Move forward with this promise firmly embedded in your mind, confident that you are known and cherished beyond measure. I know how easily your heart can grow weary when you witness the suffering and injustice in the world around you, and I share in that sorrow. Yet, I want you to remember that even in the darkest valleys of human experience, my light has not been extinguished, and my plan for restoration still stands. There is no wound too deep that my healing cannot reach, and there is no despair too overwhelming that my hope cannot eclipse. Lift your head and see that I am at work, sending helpers, stirring compassion, and breathing possibility into hopeless situations. Let this vision of my redemptive power fill your spirit, urging you to become a vessel of my mercy in a world thirsting for kindness and love. Whenever you feel unprepared for the tasks set before you, or uncertain about the road you must travel, remember that I have never required you to walk that road alone. I stand beside you, offering my counsel, my encouragement, and my strength. If the path seems steep, know that I will provide the sure footing you need at precisely the right time, allowing you to ascend with confidence rather than trepidation. My wisdom surpasses human limitations, and I freely share it with all who ask, so do not hesitate to ask me for clarity and guidance in your daily decisions. Embrace my invitation and discover the overwhelming peace that flows from stepping forward in partnership with me. In your moments of isolation, when you feel that no one truly understands the complexity of your heart, take solace in the truth that I perceive every nuance of your inner world. I recognize the dreams you hesitate to voice, the prayers you whisper in the night, and the questions you can barely articulate. My spirit weaves through your every heartbeat, comforting you and reminding you that you belong to me. So do not allow feelings of solitude to deceive you into believing you have been forsaken, for I am closer to you than the air you breathe. Rest in this knowledge, and let your heart find its home in my embrace. At times, you may worry that your faith is not strong enough, that your doubts and fears somehow disqualify you from receiving my favor. Hear me clearly. My love for you is not dependent on your capacity to believe without flaw, for I am the one who upholds you even when your faith wavers. Faith, like a tender plant, grows through both sunshine and storms, and I tend to it patiently, never scorning your questions or your uncertainty. Rather than criticizing yourself for having doubts, bring them to me and allow me to illuminate your mind and fortify your trust one step at a time. Do not shrink away from my presence in moments of weakness, for it is then that my strength becomes most evident. Press on with an open heart, for I cherish you in your honesty and meet you in your vulnerability. I am well aware of how discouragement can latch onto your heart, especially when prayers seem unanswered or outcomes appear delayed. Yet I urge you to cling to hope with unwavering resolve, for my timing transcends human calendars, and what appears to be a delay from your perspective is often the perfect season in my eternal plan. There are lessons, growth, and transformations happening in the waiting period, and if you yield to my guidance, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more grounded in my promises than before. Surrender your timeline to me, trusting that I orchestrate all things for good, and hold fast to the knowledge that I never fail to fulfill my word. Remain hopeful, for the seeds you have sown in faith will, in due season, sprout and bloom into blessings beyond what you have imagined. Remember the story of the shepherd who seeks the one lost sheep, leaving the 99 behind to ensure that no one is forgotten. I share this with you to affirm that I will never leave you wandering aimlessly. I come to you in your confusion, in your despair, in your longing for something more. Even if you believe you have strayed too far from my love, I remind you that my arm extends farther than your missteps, and my grace abounds more than your errors. Return to me, for in my eyes you have always held a priceless significance, and I will carry you upon my shoulders with joy. Let this truth chase away any shame you might harbor, for my mercy is inexhaustible, and it beckons you to begin anew with hope and assurance. In the busyness of life, do not neglect the stillness where you and I can commune without distraction. In that quiet space, I long to whisper my truths into the depths of your being, dispelling the fog of confusion that daily demands can create. Make room for moments of prayer, of reflection, and of silent awe, for in such times you will sense my nearness in the most tangible way. I stand ready to refresh your soul like a spring of living water, soothing every parched corner of your mind and heart. Treasure this invitation, for it holds the power to rejuvenate your spirit and strengthen your resolve to walk in love. Let your heart sing with gratitude for the blessings you already possess, for I take delight when you recognize the daily tokens of my affection. The world may suggest that you always need more success, more possessions, more accolades, but I remind you that the truest fulfillment is found in communion with me. As you cultivate thankfulness, you will discover that joy and contentment take root within you, pushing out envy and dissatisfaction. Rejoice in small victories, in simple pleasures, and in every reminder that my love undergirds your life. Stand firm in the knowledge that in every season, I provide what you need, and I take pleasure in caring for you in both grand and subtle ways. Believe that I hold every strand of your life's tapestry, weaving even the threads of pain into a masterpiece of redemption and beauty. Though you may not see the pattern clearly from your current vantage point, trust that my perspective encompasses your past, your present, and your future. Each triumph, each loss, each lesson learned all serve to draw you closer to my heart and to illuminate the unique brilliance of your story. Do not despair when circumstances take unexpected turns, for I am skilled at transforming detours into delightful discoveries, leading you to outcomes far better than you dared hope. Rest in this assurance, and let your spirit be anchored by my unchanging goodness. When confusion arises about your purpose or direction, remember that I have already lit a lamp at your feet, and I invite you to take one step at a time with me. Do not be paralyzed by the need to understand the entire journey before you begin, for I provide just enough light for each day, ensuring you develop trust and reliance upon my guidance. As you move forward in faith, you will see doors open in ways you could not have orchestrated on your own, and you will recognize my hand in every opportunity and blessing. Let go of the anxiety that comes from trying to chart your path alone, and instead place each day's concerns at my feet, where I lovingly shape them into a future filled with hope. Stand secure in my leading, for I am the faithful shepherd who never abandons his flock. My beloved, there is nothing that can separate you from my love, not your past mistakes, not your present flaws, and certainly not your worries for the future. I offer you grace that abounds beyond your sin, and I extend mercy that triumphs over judgment, inviting you to walk in the freedom I have purchased for you. When shame tries to bind your heart and convince you that you must hide from my gaze, remember that my arms remain open, ready to enfold you in acceptance beyond any human comprehension. Do not allow condemnation to weigh you down, for I have called you by name and declared you worthy through my sacrifice. Embrace this truth and let it heal your wounded places, ushering you into the peace that only forgiveness can bring. Consider how seeds must be buried in darkness before they break forth into the sunlight, transformed into thriving plants that bear fruit. In the same way, The painful seasons of your life, though they may feel like a cold darkness, can become the very cradle of new growth and deeper faith. Look upon these times not as the end of your story, but as chapters that reveal my ability to bring redemption out of anguish. When you feel hopeless, picture a seed under the soil, unseen yet preparing for its moment to sprout with beauty and purpose. Keep your eyes on me, trusting that I will bring forth blossoms of joy and healing in my perfect timing. I know that navigating relationships can be difficult, that misunderstandings can arise, and that you sometimes feel alone even in the midst of many people. Yet I am the one who mends broken connections, who softens hardened hearts, and who teaches you how to truly love and be loved. Turn to me in prayer when conflicts arise, and allow my Spirit to guide your words and actions toward reconciliation and compassion. Do not cling to resentment or bitterness, for these will only rob you of the fullness of grace I intend for you to experience. Instead, let my gentleness shape your responses, and watch as I heal and restore what once seemed beyond repair. Hold on to hope in every interaction, for I delight in uniting hearts with genuine affection and understanding. There are times when you may yearn for a miracle, for a clear sign that I am listening and responding to your cries for help. Know that my wonders are not confined to the spectacular. Often, they are woven seamlessly into the fabric of daily life, quietly unveiling my presence in ways both small and grand. Open your eyes to the ordinary miracles all around you. A kind word in a moment of despair, a sudden burst of inspiration that illuminates your path, or a deep sense of peace that settles in your heart despite turmoil. Train yourself to notice these subtle gifts, and you will find that I have been actively involved in your life far more than you realized. Rejoice in this continuous display of my kindness, and believe that my power works in harmony with your faithfulness each passing day. My child, I am aware of how easily worry can take root in your heart, planting seeds of restlessness and preventing you from sleeping in peace. Know that I neither slumber nor sleep, and I keep watch over you, guarding your life with unwavering vigilance. When anxiety comes at you like a whirlwind, swirling thoughts in your mind about the unknown, remind yourself of my unchangeable nature. I have carried generations before you. I have sustained my children through every calamity, and I am more than able to handle your cares and concerns. Cast those worries onto me, for my shoulders are broad enough to bear them, and my love for you is strong enough to dispel every fear. In times when you find it hard to pray because words fail or pain overshadows hope, remember that I search your heart and understand its silent pleas. Your tears, your sighs, and even your inexpressible longings are all heard by me, for my Spirit intercedes with groanings too deep for words. You do not need a polished speech or ceremonial postures to touch my heart. You only need an honest spirit that is willing to reach out in vulnerability. Do not be disheartened if you cannot articulate what troubles you, for I already know, and I stand ready to embrace you, offering solace far beyond what words can convey. Trust me in your wordless cries, for I am the one who makes sense of everything that seems senseless. When you face betrayal or heartbreak at the hands of someone you trusted, I stand close to you, binding up the wounds of rejection and reminding you that you are never forsaken. Humanity is frail, and even the sincerest hearts can fail. But my devotion to you remains flawless, unshaken, and eternal. Let me be your anchor when you feel adrift, and allow my voice of truth to drown out the lies that say you are unwanted or unloved. I gather the shattered pieces of your heart, mending them with my tenderness and breathing renewed strength into your spirit. Release your pain to me, for I am adept at transforming what is broken into a vessel of beauty, reflective of my unwavering commitment to your wholeness. Do not underestimate the power of confessing your burdens to me, for in relinquishing them, you make room for my healing presence to flow into every corner of your life. Shame might whisper that you should keep your struggles hidden, but I assure you that exposing them to my light is the first step toward genuine freedom. I do not judge you as harshly as you judge yourself. Rather, I welcome your openness, your honest assessments of where you have faltered, and I stand ready with grace to lift you up. Let these truths disarm your fears, and instead of turning away, turn to me with all your anxieties, regrets, and uncertainties. I promise not only to pardon, but also to empower you with the strength to rise above every flaw and failure. My beloved, as you journey forward, I want you to cling to the promise that your destiny is secure in my hands. Though storms may rage, though trials may come in unexpected torrents, they cannot sweep you from the plan I have ordained for your life. I have set you apart, lovingly formed you in your mother's womb, and prepared a place of purpose that only you can fulfill. Keep your focus on my heart for you, allowing faith to override fear and hope to outlast doubt. Rest in the knowledge that I will never forsake you, and stand firm in your calling, for together we will walk into a future filled with victory, fulfillment, and everlasting peace. Hear me as I remind you of my constant invitation. Come to me, all you who are weary, and I will give you rest. This promise is not limited by the scope of your burdens, nor is it restricted to a particular season of life. Every anxiety, every sense of unworthiness, every hidden fear, bring them to me, and let my compassion wash over your soul like a river of mercy. When weariness threatens to overwhelm you, remember that in my presence there is solace, refreshment, and the unwavering assurance that you are held in perfect love. So come and take refuge in my arms, for I delight in lifting the heavy load off your shoulders. In the quiet of the morning, when the day's responsibilities start to crowd your mind, pause and acknowledge my nearness. Whisper a prayer of thanks for the breath in your lungs and the promise of another day to see my hand at work. I orchestrate each sunrise to show you that darkness has limits, that hope is renewed with every dawn, and that I stand ready to walk with you throughout whatever awaits you. Let gratitude become a shield against worry, a daily reminder that I am the giver of all good things, from the simplest meal to the most profound spiritual revelation. Guard your heart with this attitude, and watch how it transforms your perspective on every challenge you face. I am the one who heals your broken heart, who tends to your invisible wounds and seals them with unfailing love. Though scars might remain as reminders of past pain, I use those very marks to proclaim your resilience and the power of my grace at work in you. Do not be ashamed of your scars, whether they be emotional or physical, for they tell a story of survival and redemption. And I, your healer, have brought you through each trial to testify of my faithfulness. Let the remembrance of what you have overcome fuel your confidence in what lies ahead, knowing that I will bring you safely through every valley. Keep stepping forward, for healing leads you toward greater compassion, empathy, and the ability to uplift others. I see the kindness you extend to those around you, even when you feel depleted yourself, and I celebrate every act of generosity that stems from a heart aligned with my love. Continue to let compassion guide your words and deeds, for in doing so, you reflect my character more than you realize. Indeed, a gentle word can calm an anxious spirit, a small gesture can restore lost hope, and a single prayer can unleash transformative power. Never underestimate the significance of these everyday miracles, for the ripple effect of love reaches farther than your eyes can see. Hold on to this truth and do good courageously, assured that I smile upon every selfless action undertaken in my name. When circumstances weigh heavily on your mind and the temptation to complain or grow bitter arises, I invite you to open your heart and speak honestly with me. I do not require polished language or rehearsed verses. I only desire your authenticity. When you pour out your concerns, your frustrations, and your heartaches, you make space for my perspective to fill you with clarity and relief. Do not carry your burdens in silence, for I am not far off, and my desire is to be actively involved in your every trial. Surrender your need for control and place your trust in my capable hands, knowing that I will cause all things to work together for your good in the fullness of time. You are set apart by my calling, destined to shine my light in a world dimmed by confusion and strife. Yet do not think you must accomplish this by your own strength, for I am the power that undergirds your every step. When you feel overwhelmed, remember that my grace is sufficient, and when your resources seem few, call upon me to multiply them. The same power that fed multitudes with a meager offering is at work in your life, expanding your capacity to serve, to love, and to overcome. Let hope stir within you at the realization that no limitation is too great for me to transform into an opportunity for my glory. Stand in this boldness, and let your faith be the catalyst for miracles in your everyday life. At times, you might sense a restlessness, an inner stirring that points to something beyond the familiar. That is my Spirit leading you forward, urging you not to settle for the complacency of a life devoid of spiritual depth. Do not fear the unknown, for I walk before you, clearing the path of unnecessary obstacles and crafting moments of divine encounter that will breathe life into your spirit. Remain open to my guidance, for I may lead you in ways that defy human logic, yet align perfectly with my purpose for you. Listen intently, and when you hear me call, step out in faith, trusting that I equip those I lead, and I strengthen those who follow my voice wholeheartedly. Draw courage from the many stories of those who have gone before you, people who confronted their giants with prayer and unwavering trust. Recall how I guided Moses through the Red Sea, how I strengthened David against Goliath, how I uplifted Elijah when despair weighed on his soul. I remain the same faithful God, sustaining you in every trial and celebrating with you in every triumph. Let these testimonies serve as building blocks for your faith, a reminder that I have not changed, and I stand ready to move mightily on your behalf. Take heart, for your current trials will become tomorrow's stories of victory, proclaiming to all who witness that I am the God who never fails. Though the world may push you to chase superficial measures of success, remember that I define true success as a heart surrendered to me and a life marked by love, integrity, and humility. Do not let the applause or disapproval of others dictate your worth, for my validation is the only one that truly endures. Whether you find yourself applauded by many or overlooked by the masses, hold fast to the truth that I see your every effort to honor me, and I commend your steadfastness. In the end, it is your relationship with me and your willingness to be a light in the darkness that truly matters. Keep your focus on me, and let your heart find rest in my unchanging approval. I urge you to celebrate the present moment while holding on to the hope of a flourishing future, for your journey is an unfolding tapestry of grace. With every breath you draw, opportunities arise to show kindness, to learn, to grow, and to draw closer to my heart. Do not diminish the significance of small beginnings or quiet progress, for these are the stepping stones to the grand fulfillments I have prepared. Keep your eyes fixed on my promises, and let gratitude for what is blend harmoniously with expectation for what will be. Though challenges may come, your story is far from over, and each page reveals a new layer of my everlasting love. I have witnessed every stumble, every tear, every regret, and I assure you that none of these disqualify you from my grace. On the contrary, they serve to magnify the depth of my mercy, for I delight in lifting you out of the mire and setting your feet on solid ground. Do not allow guilt to erect barriers between us, but rather, let it be a prompt to seek me wholeheartedly, for in repentance lies the doorway to genuine transformation. I will not shame you or condemn you. Instead, I will clothe you with love that washes away the stains of yesterday's mistakes. Take my hand and let us walk forward together, forging a new path built on forgiveness and hope. Sometimes you may feel as though your efforts go unnoticed, that your hard work is taken for granted by those around you. Yet I see your perseverance in the shadows, your faithfulness in the mundane routines that shape each day. Nothing escapes my notice, and I store up every act of diligence in my heart, ready to reward you in ways you cannot imagine. Do not grow weary of offering your best, even if no one else applauds, because my eyes are fixed on you with approving love. Keep sowing goodness in silence, and trust that in due season the seeds you plant will bloom into blessings, for I am the one who brings forth the harvest of your devotion. Let me remind you that my words are not empty promises, for I am the embodiment of truth, the source of unshakable integrity, and the beacon of faithfulness that never dims. When doubts arise and you wonder if my assurances still stand, reflect on the countless testimonies of lives transformed by my unwavering commitment. I am the God who parted seas, who raised the fallen, who spoke life into dry bones, and who continues to do immeasurably more than you can ask or think. Place your confidence in my nature, for my character does not waver with the winds of circumstance, nor does it fluctuate according to human limitations. Believe in me, and you will find a stability that transcends every trial you may face. My beloved, do not dwell on your weaknesses as though they define you, for in my eyes, you are more than your shortcomings or failures. I crafted your mind, your heart, your talents, and your personality with utmost care, each aspect designed for a distinct purpose. If you fixate on what you lack, you might miss the potential I have stored within you, waiting to be unveiled at the perfect moment. Allow my spirit to work through your vulnerabilities, transforming them into platforms for my strength to be revealed. Rejoice in the fact that you need not carry every burden alone, for I am your everlasting support, providing grace and power in the exact measure you require. When financial worries grip your heart, when medical diagnoses weigh on your mind, or when relationships tremble on the edge of discord, turn to me with unwavering trust. I am not a distant observer, but the one who intercedes on your behalf, the one whose resources are boundless and compassion infinite. Release the outcome into my hands, and you will discover that peace replaces panic, and hope replaces dread. Every challenge is an opportunity for me to demonstrate my care, to reveal my sovereignty in intricate details, and to reinforce the truth that I am your loving provider. Cast your cares upon me in faith, and watch how I orchestrate your circumstances for a testimony of my sustaining grace. When you feel misunderstood by those around you, or when your intentions are misread, rest in the reassurance that I discern the sincerity of your heart. So often, human judgment lacks the context of my omniscience, leading to misinterpretations and unwarranted criticisms. In those moments, anchor yourself in my perspective, for I see all things clearly, and I recognize your motives in their purest form. Do not be deterred by the opinions of others, because their voices do not carry the authority to define your identity. Let my affirmation be enough, quieting the storm of public sentiment with the still, small voice of eternal truth. I encourage you to live each day with eternity in mind, for the cares of this world, though pressing, are temporary compared to the glory awaiting you in my presence. When the weight of today's trials tries to crush your spirit, remember that I have prepared a home for you far beyond the confines of earthly limitations. The hope of everlasting life is not a distant dream. It is a reality secured by my promise, an anchor that keeps you steady when life's seas grow turbulent. Let this perspective spur you on to love more deeply, give more generously, and forgive more readily, for every act of grace resonates into forever. Look beyond the moment and walk in the light of my eternal promise. In seasons of abundance, do not forget the one who blessed you, and in seasons of scarcity, do not believe that I have abandoned you. Life ebbs and flows, yet my provision remains constant, tailored to your needs in every circumstance. Whether I feed you with manna in the desert or bring forth water from a rock, my methods may vary, but my faithfulness never does. Keep your heart free from the snare of complacency when things are going well, and resist the grip of despair when they are not. I am with you in both feast and famine, shaping you into a person whose faith is refined and whose gratitude is unwavering. As you navigate new chapters in your life, a different job, a move to another place, a shift in relationships, remember that I go before you, preparing the way. Embrace change with courage, knowing that transitions are gateways to transformation, drawing you closer to your true calling in me. Do not fear what is ahead or cling too tightly to what is behind, because my plans for you are progressive, moving you from one level of growth to the next. In every shift, I am your solid ground, the pillar that stabilizes you, and the voice that guides you into new dimensions of purpose. Trust me as you step out into uncharted territory, for I have laid the path that will lead you to blessings unimaginable. Finally, my precious child, do not be dismayed if the journey feels long or the nights seem endless. I am the light that never fails, shining brightest in the depths of your darkest hours, illuminating your heart with the glow of my unfathomable love. Keep your eyes on me, and let my promises soothe your anxieties and renew your vision. Even when you cannot see the finish line, know that I have planned a glorious destination, and each step you take in faith brings you closer to fulfillment. Stand on this final word. You are never alone, for I am with you, and I will not rest until your joy is complete in my presence. My cherished one, I want to remind you that your unique story, with all its peaks and valleys, is a testament to my sustaining power. Every trial you have overcome, every prayer you have whispered, and every triumph you have celebrated shapes the narrative of your life in ways that touch others more deeply than you might realize. I use your past pains to comfort those who endure similar struggles, and I magnify your joys so they radiate hope to those who walk in shadows. So do not hold back from sharing your experiences. Your testimony carries seeds of encouragement that I have carefully planted in your soul. Step forward boldly and let the world see how my grace has been woven into every chapter of your life. Remember, too, that I delight in your childlike wonder, your questions about the world I formed, and your desire to grasp the mysteries of creation. I welcome your curiosity, for it sparks conversations between us that deepen your understanding and nurture an ever-growing awe of my majesty. When you look at the night sky and feel a stirring in your heart, know that I am calling you to see beyond the visible, to recognize that the expanse of the heavens mirrors the immeasurable depths of my love. Let your wonder guide you back to me each time you marvel at the intricate details of nature or the complexities of the human heart. In these moments, your spirit finds refuge in my vastness, and you remember that no problem is too great, no distance too far for the one who holds the cosmos in place. At times, you may be plagued by a sense of hurry, convinced that you must achieve certain milestones by specific deadlines. Yet, I urge you to slow down and savor the divine pace I have set for your growth. There is no need to rush when I am the one orchestrating your steps, aligning divine appointments that lead you toward purpose. Resist the urge to compare your timeline with that of others, for each journey is unique, each timing profoundly personal. Trust that I am never late, and even when you feel behind, I can redeem any season you perceive as lost. Embrace the present without anxiety about tomorrow, for in resting in my timing, you discover peace that surpasses all human understanding. When your heart aches because of unresolved issues or strained relationships, do not lose hope in the possibility of reconciliation. I specialize in mending what has been torn apart, turning bitterness into forgiveness and sorrow into renewed joy. Though the process may require patience and humility, never underestimate the power of my Spirit to bring about healing that surpasses human effort. I am the God who restores, who breathes new life into dry bones, and who wipes away every tear. Keep believing in redemption's power, keep praying for hearts to soften, and watch how I transform even the most broken bonds into stories of reconciliation. Stand on this truth. Nothing is beyond my reach, and no divide is too wide for my love to bridge. You might find yourself grappling with disappointment when your hopes and prayers do not materialize in the way you expected. However, do not let unfulfilled expectations erode your trust in my goodness. Rather, take a moment to recall the countless instances I have worked behind the scenes, tailoring blessings to fit your ultimate well-being. Sometimes, my greatest gifts come wrapped in packages you would never think to open, and my brightest miracles emerge from circumstances that once seemed hopeless. Though you may not see the full picture now, keep your faith anchored in me, for I see what lies beyond the horizon. Let every setback be a prelude to a miraculous intervention, and hold on to the certainty that I never fail to complete the good work I begin in you. If you ever feel you lack purpose, look at the talents and passions I have placed within you, like seeds awaiting the right moment to bloom. Do not belittle these gifts or shrug them off as insignificant, for I have deposited them into your being with an intentional design. When you align your passions with my mission of love and redemption, those gifts blossom into powerful tools that can impact the world around you. I take joy in your creative endeavors, your problem-solving skills, your ability to connect with others, and your heartfelt prayers for those in need. Let these gifts flourish under my guidance, and you will witness how I use them to bring light into the darkest corners of your environment. Cherish the preciousness of communion with fellow believers, for I have designed you to thrive in community, leaning on one another's strengths and finding solace in shared burdens. Resist the temptation to isolate yourself when trials arise, or to withdraw out of fear that your troubles will weigh others down. I have placed people in your life who can act as channels of my comfort and vessels of my encouragement. Open your heart to them. Allow them to pray for you, to support you, and to remind you of my faithfulness when your own vision grows dim. In turn, be ready to extend love and compassion to them as they walk through their own challenges. For this is how you fulfill my command to love one another deeply. In your quiet moments of reflection, remember that I do not measure your worth by your productivity or your accomplishments. The world may applaud busyness and reward ceaseless striving, but I invite you to abide in my love, content in the realization that you are precious simply because you are mine. Let go of the relentless pursuit for approval and rest in the acceptance that was secured long before you drew your first breath. My delight in you is not based on your performance, but on the truth that you bear my image, intricately crafted to reflect my heart. Find solace and contentment in this fundamental reality, and watch as your anxieties about measuring up begin to fade away. When clouds of darkness loom over your spirit, when depression or anxiety grips you with seemingly unrelenting force, take refuge in my unwavering presence. The enemy may try to convince you that you are forsaken, that your plight is beyond help, but know that I am closest to you in your sorrow, gently holding you even when you cannot sense me. Do not hesitate to seek wise counsel, for I can guide you through the voices of those who care, giving you strategies to overcome mental and emotional struggles. Turn your eyes toward the light of my promise and step forward one day at a time, trusting that every step in hope is a step toward freedom. The darkness will not last, and you will rise again, for my faithfulness is your shield and rampart. Now, as we draw nearer to the close of this message, let your heart rest in the knowledge that I am eternally committed to you. My covenant of love stands firm through every trial, every shift in circumstance, and every mistake you might make along the way. I have carved you on the palms of my hands, and I hold you as a treasure in my everlasting embrace. Take courage and face the future without fear, for I have gone before you to prepare the way and walk behind you to protect your steps. My promise remains the same. You are mine, cherished beyond measure, and I will be your steadfast companion all the days of your life. My steadfast love remains the anchor for your soul, and I long for you to lean fully upon it, remembering that no storm is too fierce to shake the foundation I have laid in your life. Even if the winds howl and the waves threaten to capsize your hope, do not forget that I am the master of the seas, the one who speaks peace over every tempest. Let every gust of wind remind you that I am greater than the storm, and let every crash of the waves drive you closer to my sheltering arms. In times of fierce trial, lift up your voice in praise, for worship sets your heart on higher ground, aligning your perspective with my eternal vantage point. Stand firm in this assurance, for I am your unmovable rock. I bless you now in this moment with the reassurance that my guidance is upon you, that my favor surrounds you like a protective shield, and that my peace is ready to calm every anxious thought. Walk forward with a confidence that is not rooted in human ability, but in the power of my unchanging presence. I fill you with the strength to overcome every hurdle, the insight to navigate every challenge, and the love to triumph over every adversity. Rest in my promises, for they are yes and amen, fixed in the heavens and unassailable by any earthly force. Know with certainty that your family, your home, and your future are all under the shadow of my protective wings, and I will not let harm befall what I cherish. Set your gaze toward tomorrow with anticipation, because you have my assurance that the best is yet to come. What lies ahead is laced with divine possibilities, threaded through with my miraculous interventions, and illuminated by the brilliance of my grace. So step out, beloved child, armed with faith and determined in hope, knowing that nothing can stand against you when I am for you. Embrace each sunrise with an expectant heart, celebrate each dusk with gratitude for the day's revelations, and let my spirit guide your every footstep. You are never alone, for I am here today and always, holding you in endless love, shaping your destiny, and leading you into the fullness of a life anchored in my everlasting goodness.